There she is. Hi, Denise. Welcome. Okay. Well, thanks everybody. I'll open the meeting by saying thanks for being available tonight and participating. Welcome to the April edition. Happy spring to everyone of our LCAC meeting. And I guess I'll turn it over to Porter for the housekeeping message on our meeting.
Thank you, Jerry. I just want to remind everybody this meeting is being recorded and broadcast on YouTube. And we're actually back on our Channel 25, Channel 2, because we were down for a while with old hardware. Also want to remind everybody to say your name when you speak. Mute when you are not speaking, please. And in this case, we don't have too many people, so you can all leave your video on. And I think that's it. I'll turn it back to Jerry.
All right, thanks. Well, let's call the meeting to order. I have 7:40 p.m. And we'll do a roll call. I'll ask you to say here when I call your name. We'll start with Christina Walker.
Here.
Joshua Fall-Leaf.
Here.
Denise Stone.
Here.
Mary Doveton.
Here.
Sarah Curry.
Here.
Jordan Martinez.
Here.
Dina Amant.
Here.
Daniel Smith.
Here.
And then I don't see Marlo.
Marlo let me know that her son's soccer game is going long, so she doesn't think she's going to make it tonight.
Okay.
She sends her regrets.
All right.
And James has a recital tonight as part of his KU program, so he also bowed out.
They will be missed. And I'm Jerry Johnson, and I'm here. The next item on our agenda is to approve the minutes, and I would just like to take a second to say, wow, these are some meeting minutes. Thank you. These are fantastic, thorough, and I think captured the spirit of our meetings like they haven't been captured in a while. So thank you so much. Appreciate that. Does anyone have any amendments to them, or can we jump to the approval? Hearing no requests for amendments, maybe there's a motion to approve them.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Saw Denise first.
Oh.
And then yays and nays. We'll go with the yays.
Let the record show it's all yays.
All yays, no nays.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. So the next item is new business. We were going to have some staff introductions, but I think because of other commitments, that's not possible. But perhaps Porter would like to take a second to tell us some news about staff.
Yeah, Dr. Muhammad definitely wants to come and visit with us, but wasn't able to come tonight, so we'll just keep that flowing forward, and hopefully he can join us in May. And some good news, we recruited and hired a communications administrative specialist, and she started last week. Her name is Melody Henning, and I will introduce her to you in May. She's overwhelmed now as it is, so I didn't want to have to drag her to this meeting as well. But she's quickly learning the ropes and things and being a tremendous help, so we're really glad to have her on board. This was part of a budget shift with us moving into the strategic plan effort and community engagement efforts, so it'd be great to have her on board and helping us out.
So you're saying her demanding boss is overwhelming her already?
Basically, that's it in a nutshell, yes.
All right. Noted. Well, that's good news. Congratulations. That should be a help to us and to you and the arts community and to the city. So that's great.
Yeah.
This is Joshua. I would just had a quick question. So does that put you back as kind of the full-time arts and culture director or whatever that original title was that you were hired for?
No, I remain the Communications and Creative Resources Director.
But this will certainly help as, I assist with programming and that type of thing. And again, with the strategic plan, I'm also overseeing the community engagement commitment, which is one of the 6 commitments that helps direct, so to speak, the 5 outcome areas. And so we also have 2 other positions related to that we're going to be hiring. So all of that helps me kind of rise to more of a overseer level and less of a doer level, although, there'll still be that facet. So it's beneficial, but it doesn't change my title or the name of the office at this point.
All right. Any other questions about staff before we move on to the next topic? Speaking of things that keep Porter busy, can we get an update on the storefront art proposed project?
You can. I won't pull it up here because we don't need to get into it because the committee's working on it, but there's a Google document, which is what I generated this weekend as the narrative for this Kansas Creative Arts Industries Commission grant for Reimagine Spaces. I've been meeting with a committee which includes Michael Davidson, Kim Onspach. We have representatives from Gould Evans. We have the Chamber. We have Sally Zograi from DLI and various other folks who are assisting with this and writing letters of support and that type of thing. So we got together last Friday. We talked through what we need to do and assign different tasks for different people. Developed the narrative. We met again Monday, and folks are, we have a guest coming in. Folks are looking at the narrative that I've written to see if it, jibes, and I'm sure there's areas that need to be fleshed out a little bit. And again, it's on Google Docs, so folks are looking at that. And then we're going to meet tomorrow at 3:00 in preparation for submitting that grant. It's due on Monday, so we'll get that all together, get it in, and this actually jibes with the Outdoor Downtown Sculpture Exhibition. I so appreciate Christina going back in and working on the information for this year's program. I held off a little bit just because as we started conversations about the storefront grant, I wasn't sure how the 2 programs would jibe. We kind of talked about having interest in doing that, but I was trying to figure out the mechanics of that, which I think I figured out. So basically, we can move forward with the Outdoor Downtown Sculpture Exhibition. And if you remember, we are talking about expanding it to not limiting it to sculpture, pushing that a little bit more. And certainly, conscious about equity and culture and trying to bring in new ideas and that type of thing. So I'm actually jibing it with some of the information I'm going to put into the grant narrative so that they'll go synchronistically, but the ODSE can move forward regardless of whether we get the grant. And if we get the grant, then we can actually use the Outdoor Downtown Sculpture Exhibition and potentially 5 art slots geared toward the Kansas Creative Arts Industry Commission. Y'all with me? I'm watching my hands on screen. I talk with my hands apparently. And if it's agreeable, what it looks like is happening organically, and this will be in the narrative unless you all have a challenge with it, but I think this is what I understood from our last conversation. Basically, with that grant, it kind of moves the Outdoor Downtown Sculpture Exhibition into a new, more contemporary public art program. Does that make sense to everybody? We've been trying to move in that direction. The working title is Art plus Community plus Connections. And we're not stuck on that. And if you guys have thoughts on that, let me know.
So Porter, this is great news, and this is, I mean, we started talking about this, what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, maybe, about how it would transition. And it seems like maybe this storefront thing and the associated grant are a catalyst for that. Is that how you would describe that?
Yeah, I think that's right, and I think it helps us without, with no disrespect to the Outdoor Downtown Sculpture Exhibition. It's an amazing legacy, tremendous history, but I would imagine even the folks that started that are conscious that, art is an expanding field, and that if we really want to benefit local artists, we have to stay with the times as much as we can. So the good news is it could still be sculpture, but I'm also pointing to a couple of different things in the grant narrative that talk a lot about, community activism, all different kind of ranges of things that artists are doing these days to help spawn ideas. For me, as I think I've said repeatedly with you all, it's an arts program, but it's also a professional development opportunity for artists. And, with public art, I always tell artists too, so often artists are seduced into wanting to do public art because often it's a decent budget. But I want artists to be empowered to say either yes or no to public art with the same level of enthusiasm, because it's a different way of working. It's not just working in your gallery, but it's working, in a community or public arena. So it's a little different. So it's a great opportunity to gain experience, bolster somebody's resume, and actually, have that experience behind them so they can compete for other projects if they want to.
That's great.
So this is Joshua. Can I propose an alternative, theme to art plus community plus connections? I don't know, brainstorming, just when I heard it, I thought art plus community equals relationships, which I think kind of is more than just a connection, but a developing, ongoing thing that art and the community can kind of join. I'm not sold or held to that either. I don't like math problems, but at least the words I think toyed around with can really have an impact and signify deeper connections. Just as an aside. Thank you.
Thanks. I jotted that down. Again, it's very much a working title. So I think that's, any contributions on that level is great. I will definitely send, I was thinking that I did this, but apparently I didn't. I will send you all the link to the Google document so you can actually look at it. And, one is you can actually go in and edit the document, but if you have suggestions, probably good idea to send them to me so I can convey that to the group tomorrow afternoon.
Hey, Daniel B. Smith. I don't have any input on the name of it. I just wanted to point out I do have the Google Doc in front of me, and the working title is listed as being art plus culture plus it's crossings, not.
Oh gosh, thank you.
In case that changes anybody's opinion.
Thank you, Daniel, for. Hey,
This is Joshua. Thank you, Daniel. I withdraw my recommendation. I think that's pretty cool. The way it is, on the Google Doc.
Thanks, Daniel. You wouldn't know I actually wrote it, would you?
Porter, could you speak to the impact of that work on the timeline for the outdoor sculpture thing for this year? And
yeah, Christina did a great job, and let me just go back and revisit the scheduling. If we go forward with if the grant is awarded from the Kansas Creative Arts Industries Commission, that would the opening for that would be the final Friday of September, which I think is September 24th. And so I'm going to do my best to get the ODSE aligned accordingly. But of course, it needs to go through some sort of panel process to select those artists. So let me go back and revisit what Christina did and, make sure people have enough time to respond to it, but that we also have enough time to do the selection process quickly. So And since we're talking about that, also the community arts grant, I'm getting a lot of requests for that, and I'm still trying to get confirmation that TGT is moving in the right direction, because I don't want to promise grants that we can't deliver necessarily. But again, unless something very strange happens, I think we're on a good track. So we, should be able to fund those grants at least at some level, I think, and I know the community is interested in that. So with that, again, timing-wise, trying to get that to coincide with one of our art commission meetings is, I don't see how we can do that for May. So there is a possibility that you might consider meeting a couple weeks later in May, or we would just wait till June. Let me kind of get that drafted on paper, and then we can decide that. If I can, I'll try to make it coincide with the June meeting.
Can our committee, our committee on that, can they do any work to help you, or I'm just brainstorming or whatever, but I mean we have folks who are signed up for that committee. Maybe possibly there's.
Well, Christina's already helped, so I appreciate her working on those guidelines.
She's a committee all to her own.
She is her own committee.
I had help. Dina and Daniel and me. Yeah.
Good.
Thank you, committee members. That's really appreciated. Let me look at the community arts grants. It may be as simple as just tweaking some dates and things. The challenge I have too is I also have to change the entire web page. So it all coincides with the appropriate guidelines, and then I have to get the online form set up. So there's just a little bit of logistics that I have to do here. But I think I can do that. I appreciate the offer. And if I need to, I'll reach out, but I think I can do that.
Okay. Any questions about the storefront art project, the outdoor sculpture, or the community arts grants before we move on? All right, strategic plan committee, any committee updates? I don't have any. All right. Public Art Committee.
I don't think we have anything beyond what we've already discussed a little bit with the ODSE.
Okay. Thanks. Let's see. And other things. Porter, the Economic Development Strategic Plan.
Yeah, so you all know that Ernst & Young developed a
Executive summary of how to approach the strategic plan, and of course included arts and culture in that. Britt Crumcano is our economic development specialist at the city here, and I actually met with her yesterday. She is in the process of actually developing the full-blown economic development strategic plan for the city. She has it broken out into various areas, and of course one of those areas is arts and culture. I'm reviewing that for her just to see how it ties back to the cultural plan, because she certainly wants to make sure it ties into the cultural plan. She also asked me if I can seek information from you all or people that you know as to who might want to contribute to this effort and serve on a committee. I don't think it would be lots and lots of meetings, but she's the first one to admit that she's not the expert in this area, and so she's looking for assistance from the community. And so I wanted to reach out to you guys, let you know that, and if you're interested in assisting in any way, shape, or form, let me know, and I'll pass your names on to Britt so that you can participate. And like I said, this is open-ended, so it could be any of you, or if it's people that you know that should be involved in that, please let me know.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, I'm at the end of the
This
agenda.
is, this is Mary. I've got a question.
Hi, Mary.
So we've got the cultural plan, we've got the economic development plan, we've got the city
Strategic plan.
strategic plan. So is Britt the person that's trying to make all the plans mesh?
She's working on the economic development strategic plan. That's her focus area. And
Yes, she's trying to make sure that the different areas related to that plan mesh with the appropriate other plans. So what I'm doing is she's given me a spreadsheet that kind of looks very similar to our culture plan matrix. Happily not as big as our matrix, but a page, of that. And I'm going to go back and look at that and either change some of the languages she's using to jibe with the culture plan matrix, or tie it back exactly to those things. So I'm working on that. That's just more of a mechanical kind of wordsmithing thing, just to get it polished up. And then she's going to work with these different areas. There's an equity and inclusion area, arts and culture. I can't remember all the different areas, but there's like five or six different areas that she's focused on, and then she's looking for assistance from the community for those people that work in those areas.
I guess I'm kind of lost in committees. Margaret and the Arts Center and Steve Nowak and I are supposed to do some sort of presentation before the City Commission on May the 4th
Okay.
about arts and culture. So I'm just trying to figure out how all these pieces come together.
You're not alone. And what I can do, Mary, is, actually maybe what would be smart is for me to facilitate a meeting with at least the three of you and any others that might be interested, just so Britt can give you a little more insight. I'm probably not articulating it as brilliantly as she will as to what she's doing and what she needs from the
Okay.
community. So let me do that.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we are at the miscellany part of our agenda tonight. So, is there any topics that anyone would like to bring up or questions for the group? All right. Our next regular meeting is May the 12th. Appreciate you all.
Oh gosh, Jerry, I'm so sorry. I wanted to show you guys something. Hang on. This is just, we have that sculpture installed. Where did it go? Doggone it.
The one at the fire station and senior center?
Yeah. Ugh, sorry. Hang on. So I'm working with the artist on that, and we'll figure out a reception time. I had this all set up and it disappeared on me.
Jerry, were you about to wrap up the shortest Cultural Arts Commission meeting ever?
I I have on record that Kate Deneen has the shortest one, and we were going to beat it, but not now.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
So you are the first to see this in its full-fledged form. The sculpture title is Paradoxical Synapse. And he got some professional shots with the beautiful red buds behind it. So I just wanted to share this with you. I'll send it to you all. So it's formally named, and I will send out we're going to put together some more information and get the information out and prepare for some sort of opening reception as well. I need to get a plaque for it, but just wanted you guys to be the first.
It looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some really nice shots, and I've heard nothing but kind of rave reviews from the people that I bumped into. I've been over there a couple times taking photographs, so people seem to be very pleased with it.
It is absolutely gorgeous.
I love it.
So bravo to all that were involved in that selection and choosing Jacob and everything else, and happily it's complete.
Yeah, it's great. It's amazing how the early renderings, have, turned into this like real thing. It's great. Love it. All right. Well, since I've blown my opportunity or Porter has, for the shortest meeting in the history of the LCAC, we are out of topics unless anyone has anything else, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Well, since we're not breaking any records, I have at least just a quick question about the Phoenix Awards and what the time frame and timeline is on that for the call for artists and all of that. If my looking at the website is correct, we should be. It sounds like we should be entertaining calls for artists to make the actual awards themselves relatively soon. Is that correct, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, the good news is because we're doing the artist selection and we don't actually need the awards until next year, we have a little more time than the way we've set it up. So I'm sort of pacing myself with everything else that's going on too, but it's on my radar and I want to get that started. And the good news is it's not a huge budget, so I think we can do that even though it's still TGT funding. So I will get on that and give you more information in May, and probably be prepared to kick off that selection process so we can get artists on board and get them paid so they can get started.
So that's speaking of that budget. That's as I recall, it's like $3,000 or something that we have for the artists,
Right.
and the key really is to get that dispersed, like just the financial part this year, right?
Yeah, we want to get the artists on board, get them under a contract, get them paid, and then get them started so we know what they're going to make. But then technically they don't have to deliver the art until the following year, and when we're ready for the awards.
Okay. And then that year's budget, just to remind everyone, that year's $3,000 goes towards the actual event itself and the advertising of it and all of that kind of stuff. So, all right. All right. How about a motion to adjourn now?
So move.
Second? Denise, I saw a hand. Just talking into the mute button.
I second.
There we go. Nice. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Let the record show everyone raise their hand.
Thanks, folks. Appreciate your time. We'll see you guys next month.
Thanks, everybody.